Like, you know, what's your decision process for making, these kind of cuts? He's got that drop shoulder, it's loose and baggy. What was
Well,
yeah,
the idea of this, because it's summer, but I do know that in summer and it being athletic, I know that there's still some level of comfortability that people want,
right.
regardless of if it is summertime. There's still a thickness that they want in fabric, and there's still a layered look that they need. And so what I
Mhm.
wanted to do is kind of put those two together and build this like kind of elongated, you know, sweatsuit short set, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's where this came from with the drop shoulders, just to kind of give it more of an oversized feel, that speaks to the brand of Tokyo, but also kind of gives a segue to the summer of Brazil.
Hmm. Nice. So the same like summer, is that the motivation for the high sleeve and the high cuff on the pant too?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that's the motivation for that.
Nice.
Just like for some breathing room.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. That's Caleb. What about Martavius here? What about these here? Is this what is it technically a cap sleeve or not? I mean, I guess that's a normal sleeve, seeing that
No,
just
this is actually a cap
is it a
sleeve.
cap? Okay.
Yeah, so this is a cap sleeve. So this is strict summer. So I wanted to go strict, more tailored look with this.
Mhm.
Again, giving both worlds. But it's more tailored in the shoulders, and I wanted more of an oversized from the waist down. This kind of gives some another breathing room, kind of gives you some area to breathe in the summertime. I went with a higher cut short with this. Only because of the summer effect, and I wanted a tailored short that was cut well, with a slight pleat, that kind of flowed well with the top.
Yeah, it seems to be later on those pleats, those knife pleats seem to be a kind of a theme.
Yeah, the pleats are. It just kind of gives more of a vintage '70s, '80s kind of feel, when it comes to tailoring, but also to giving the cut of a modern cut with the end of the the leg of the short.
Can you discuss? I mean, this is probably more personal for me, but like let's go back here, like the armhole opening. Like where does that influence a garment? Like the way it, I know how it influences movement. The bigger, baggier, the more you can just sort of move inside. But we're not wearing tents, right? We want to look good.
Right, but it goes with just a cut of an abnormal cut. Like anybody else would have tailored that straight to the armpit.
Mhm.
However, with me, having that open cap sleeve kind of gave an attention to why did you do that, just goes to your question. So it gives a different feel of an average to abnormal.
All right, nice. Caleb again. So this is the same bottom Caleb was wearing in the first look. Or
Right. So just, yeah, this just gives you a different way to wear it. So a lot of guys now are taking their sweaters and they're tying them around their neck, tying them around their waist. Before that was just more of a female thing. It's becoming very non-gendered now. So that's why we went with more of the crop top of the dress shirt. To kind of give it more of a short sleeve crop top, and then so you can just throw the sweater on. So if it gets cool at night, you can have a layer to pull over. But the wraparound sweater has always been more of a classic kind of luxury feel when it comes to a layering piece.
Yeah, it kind of harkens back to that sort of early 80s sort of preppy thing too. They
There
all
it
did that.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's segued into a lot of streetwear now,
Yeah.
when it comes to that. Like a lot of people are, their hoodies, they're tying their hoodies around their neck versus a
Mhm.
cable knit sweater.
Yeah. Well, they're doing it with style versus, just the 10-year-old tying it around his neck.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm curious, like the shorter length on the shirt, is there, there's that trend towards, I mean, so many people wearing shirts untucked. Does that play into it or?
Yes, this is what it is. A lot of times when you go with a longer cut now, it becomes too long for guys now. So that shorter crop kind of it makes the shorter look taller, it makes the taller look normal. So it kind of gives the best of both worlds.
Gotcha. I'll start here. I'll start at the front with this, with the Martavius. So I don't know. This is a shirt, a jacket. What's going on here?
This is a shirt. This is a shirt. So I wanted to do that windbreaker,
Mhm.
kind of windbreaker jumpsuit feel in more of a summer look. So that's where you have the elastic around the sleeve and the draw around the bottom. It kind of brought it up a little bit to be more summer, but again, more of the oversized to kind of speak to the world of Tokyo.
Right. Yeah, so that sleeve is I can't remember. Was that rolled up? How's it if that drops, where does that sleeve
It's
go?
a drop. It's a lantern sleeve, so it's really called a lantern sleeve.
Lantern sleeve.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's one of
And
my favorite looks, I think.
yeah, this was good. He was doing it justice too. What was the I guess we didn't get a shot of the waist. What's the waist like on this?
The waist is just a regular tailored trouser pant waist
Gotcha.
with the elastic, going back to an average old school sweatsuit. I wanted just to bring it up to a short.
Nice. How many pleats you got on this? You got a couple on the front. There was
Two. It's two on each side.
two on each side. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes it sort of drape out, and that's got to be comfortable.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Comfort is key when you're thinking of athletics and you're thinking of summertime, but
Mhm.
also two people want to look tailored as well.
Yeah. Well, same thing. Okay, you widen the shoulder, drop the sleeve or the start of the sleeve on this as well.
Right. Same with this one also too, but giving it more of a boxier feel and
Mhm.
kind of giving this a more of a kimono cut. Going back to the Japanese culture, I wanted to kind of make sure that it kind of draped in the front a little bit, to kind of give that Japanese culture top. And these are more of a baggier, tailored look when it comes to the pleats. So I think we have about maybe three or four pleats in each side.
And for that top, how straight does that body drop from the shoulders? Is there any tapering? Is it blouse out, or is it just a kind of a
It's a
straight?
straight blouse from the chest down. So it's going to blouse out from the chest down. All the tailoring is in the shoulder.
Gotcha. It's a different look from on Angela. So,
Definitely different for her. But I've been getting a lot of feedback on this look. Because I wanted to do just a windbreaker, but I wanted it to be something simple. So for the girls to kind of just throw on in the summertime, or if they're at the beach, they have another layer they can just kind of throw on. So this was kind of that coverall kind of effect,
mhm.
but more so in an athletic way. So it's cool, it's simple. If you want to put your bikini underneath or just a regular tank top and some athletic, stretch shorts, you could, and still kind of give you a dressier look on top.
Well, it's nice. I mean, it's a cover up without looking like so many of them look like bathrobes.
Exactly, or your grandma's, or
Mhm.
whatever. It just kind of,
Yeah.
it gave. And again, going to the bunch at the bottom, I'm still paying homage to the vintage sweatsuit. I want to make sure that that band of elastic band doesn't always have to be at the bottom. It can be anywhere you put it.
Right, right. Oh, that's that. Well, did we catch the pockets before? It says pockets on both sides. Yeah.
Box on both sides.
Yeah. Nice. I know the models always like that one. Like, oh, it's got a pocket.
Exactly, exactly. I think that's what kind of like
Yeah.
pushed Angela a little bit more to kind of do a little bit more with this look.
Yeah.
I think it fit her well.
So the patches are the same across. What what's the patch choice? That just kind of
Well,
what
I
you
went with the
put them in?
cowhide because normally times when people think of cowhide or they think of cow print, it's more Western or it's more fall. For me, it can go either way, and I wanted people to know that it doesn't have to always be a seasonal thing. Um, you can wear cowhide year round. It's just how you put it into the season.
What's the pattern? I mean, I know it's almost a Rorschach test, but also it's very kind of mid-century or late 60s sort of artwork, kind of impressive
Exactly,
too. Yeah.
and it just kind of gives another aesthetic to the vintage culture.
And it really grabs, I mean, the collar grabs attention because you put that pattern on it
Yeah,
here.
right there. And I wanted to go more. I don't know if anybody knows about the Wizard of Oz. They had the Munchkins and the
Oh,
Lollipop.
yeah.
They had the really big, high, wide collars,
Yeah.
and that's where this look came about. I still wanted to kind of pay homage to the cropness of it, but the sleeve of the wide lantern sleeve, with the exaggerated shoulder, and the collar kind of paid homage to that lollipop kid in the Wizard of Oz that went to now Tokyo. That is summertime Brazil.
That's cool. Okay. I can see him now in that wig with that stylized hair, right?
Right, right, right. Yeah.
And you
And
got, yeah.
sometimes cut them short. Only thing these are actually made out of the windbreak. This is a cotton windbreaker short. So these have more of a nylon feel to them versus the other ones where they're more of a trouser feel. These are more nylon.
Okay. Wait, what do you mean by that? Is that like a tighter weave to it, or is it?
The tighter weave, but it's also a thinner cut. So that means it's a little bit more breathable when it comes to it's more of an athletic type fabric.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's a lighter weight. It's not a canvas. It's a lighter weight fabric.
Yeah, it's definitely lighter weight.
Yeah. I don't know about this look for her. I like the was is that a cowl neck? What do you call that?
Yeah, it's a cowl neck, but I wanted to do an asymmetrical sleeve. So I wanted to give the best of both worlds. Some people like short sleeves, some people like long sleeves. So if
Mhm.
there's somebody that actually wanted to wear both, this is the
Yeah,
opportunity to do
there
so.
you go.
And for me, I've always done this where there'd be one sleeve on one thing, one on the other. But I wanted
Mhm.
to kind of bring it back. I did that way back in the early 2000s, but I wanted to bring it back because it was just such a clean look to me to be able to once I cut that one side, I'm like, no, let's keep the other side where it is.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I wanted to give like the effect of it being buttoned, but it's not. Those buttons are just there to kind of give that polo kind of high collared neck
Yeah.
feel to it. And then of course we went with the wide slayer skirt, but again at the bottom of the skirt we and paid homage again to the vintage style of the sweatsuit where the elastic is around the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. That's I'm noticing that. It's like you want it, I'd like you normally you'd want it or you would expect it to just sort of kind of splay out a little bit, but that gathers it back together.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes it a nice. That top's got to be comfortable because it's not because the buttons aren't doing a lot of work right up by the throat. It's
It's
just
really just a pullover.
smooth.
So I wanted it to so
Yeah.
nobody have to worry about buttoning. You just pull over and go. But let's speak to her bag if we can. Um,
Yeah.
So her bag was a conversation piece, and it has been like since the collection has released. This is a big canvas bag, and this canvas
Mhm.
bag we used in two collections before this when we did spring, and it just made a huge impact where everybody wanted this bag. I just wanted to build like this big, heavy sack where people can put
Yeah.
anything and everything that they wanted into. But I also wanted to show many ways that you can wear this bag and it looks good.
It's almost like army duffel sack inspired, but like half that size without
There
being
it is. There
giant.
it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really clean. It gives you a clean aesthetic to drop some stuff in it without being weighed down.
I think it's real fun. Okay, the tandem shots are always fun for these
Yeah,
guys.
and all of them did an amazing
Yeah.
job.
Wait, why don't we speak to that? I mean, that group dynamic last Wednesday I thought that was good. We had a good group of people on set. Um,
Actually excellent. I have to say that um, far beyond what I thought it would be. When you go through castings and you're picking several, models, you don't know what you're going to expect. But I know I handpicked Marshall because I knew what he can do, and I knew that he would fit well with the group that we had selected in casting. But just going from the three of these, like him, Nasia, and Caleb, it's ironic that they all had the same sneaker, but they all vibed so well.
yeah.
Like I don't think like we could have picked a better group to bunch up together like this
Mhm.
because they instantly synced. So, and a lot of times, as you know, we don't always find that. Certain models want to be with certain people, but they didn't care. They just wanted to make it work, and I appreciated that they made these look work, and just gave it to the camera.
They did. Yeah, they were they were serving. It was good. It was
I
real
mean,
good.
there was no like do this, do that. Like it was just like you said, keep moving, and they were moving. And not a lot of times, I try to stay out of that. 'Cause I know you handle that, but a lot of times, I still have to like say, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Like I didn't have to do that at all with these guys.
Totally. And we have, these guys were good for sure.
Yeah. Like they immediately, like they were just I don't know. It was just, and it was just a clean aesthetic. It wasn't, and this comes to show to any model, like you don't have to do too much to make an effect and build a great photo. And this is what they showed. We can easily give our character and give our personality without doing too much.
Yeah, well, for me, from the photography side, it's like if they, half the work is done if they're just able to just occupy the space.
Right.
Having human in there is so much of it. And yeah, move from there. It doesn't, yeah, to your point, it doesn't always have to be big. Although we've got
Yeah.
some big stuff. We got the jumping stuff
We
too.
definitely, and I think that spoke to what it spoke to, but I think
Yeah.
these also spoke to what we needed to kind of show the collection, show
Mhm.
the diversity, show the inclusion, and to show how people can still be together in fashion.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think that's a good segue, just sort of here at the end. When you're when you're casting models or any team member for that matter, but I'm thinking about models. When you're casting like what are you looking for? Because every job's different, right?
Every job is different, and certain jobs look for a certain crowd of people. So you're absolutely correct. But for me, I look for personality. Automatically, I can tell somebody's personality by the way they address in their introduction. I can tell that. But I look for that, but I also look for who can be diverse and who can segue
Mhm.
into this type of group. And to be honest, this group right here has like raised the bar because this is what I'm going to be looking for ongoing. People who can actually do what they did.
Hmm. Hmm. That's
And
great.
that's just like also too meeting people because this was a lot of they all met for the first time. So like meeting for the first time and be able to think like that is huge. Like you can't be shy on sets like this.
Right.
And have to a lot of times we've seen that where, nobody really wants to give because they don't know or they don't have a certain person in the room. And this is not what this day and time is for. Like you got to do it while you can.
Well, I almost feel like there's sort of not extremes. There's two kind of poles where if someone's nervous, they either, are kind of crawl into a shell and it's tough to interact, or they sort of go the other extreme where it's like they try to be almost too big a personality, you know.
Exactly. I
Um,
agree.
yeah, and I
There's no
feel like
balance.
yeah, I feel like these three, well, all five of them, right? We've worked with Martavius for
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
were like they understood the brief and they communicated a lot. They talked to each other a lot. They talked to us a lot. So that was great.
Yeah, not to not mention Martavius and Angela, because they were absolutely amazing too. Just to be able to, I know a lot of people saw their shots, but to be able to create that shot the way they did was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And Martavius, I think he's just an all around guy that's going to sync with whoever is in the room. So
Yeah.